Welcome to Coffee Chats with Klaas. Hi, I'm Malia Cuevas, CEO of Klaas Financial, and today I'm here with Eric Schwartz, a certified financial planner, to discuss how folks can use bank products and government bonds as part of their financial plan. Eric, can you start by giving us an overview of high-yield savings accounts?
Sure. So high-yield savings accounts are deposit accounts that pay much higher rates of interest than traditional savings accounts. High-yield savings accounts receive the same FDIC insurance as a traditional savings account, but they tend to be offered by online banks or credit unions rather than your local financial institution. And while it can feel uncomfortable to set up an account outside of your local bank or credit union, the extra effort can provide significantly higher interest rates.
And what about certificates of deposit?
Certificates of deposit, or CDs, are bank products that provide a fixed rate of interest on a lump sum for a specified time period. Like many bank products, CDs are FDIC insured, and compared to a traditional savings account, CDs often pay higher rates of interest because they have less liquidity. In order to avoid an early withdrawal penalty or lost interest, individuals must leave their funds in a CD for the entire term.
So how might high-yield savings accounts and CDs be used in a person's financial plan?
High-yield savings accounts can work really well for holding emergency funds or cash that may be needed in the near future and shouldn't be put at risk. If you have a known timeline for a future expense, a CD with an appropriate term would also be a good option.
Well, let's shift away from bank-backed products and talk about government bonds. What should we know about those types of products?
Rather than being backed by the FDIC, savings bonds are backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. Treasury. There are two types of savings bonds that can be purchased today: Series EE bonds and I bonds. With both types of bonds, it's very important to understand the time constraints placed on them. Series EE savings bonds earn a fixed rate of interest for up to 30 years. Bonds must be held for at least 1 year, but can be cashed in any time after that. However, if the bonds are cashed in before being held for 5 years, there's a 3-month interest penalty. Series EE bonds can be purchased for as little as $25 or as much as $10,000 per person per year. Now, all of the interest is actually received at the end of the term when the bond is cashed in.
So how do I bonds differ from Series EE bonds?
I bonds differ from Series EE bonds in that they pay additional interest over and above the fixed interest rate. The additional interest is determined by the rate of inflation, and it's reevaluated every 6 months. Like Series EE bonds, I bonds can pay interest for up to 30 years, but can be cashed out after 12 months. Similarly, any redemptions prior to 5 years come with a 3-month interest penalty. Investors can also invest up to $10,000 per person per year into I bonds.
So you mentioned that high-yield savings accounts and CDs are available through banks and credit unions, but how can people purchase savings bonds?
Primarily, Series EE bonds and I bonds can be purchased electronically through treasurydirect.gov, but you can also purchase paper I bonds using your income tax return.
So are there any other savings vehicles in this space that people should know about?
Yeah, one that we haven't discussed is a money market fund. Money market funds are mutual funds that invest in short-term securities such as cash and U.S. Treasury bonds. They're built to be low risk and highly liquid while also providing some level of interest. Importantly, money market funds are not FDIC insured, meaning that they can lose value. On the other hand, money market accounts are offered by banks and credit unions and are FDIC insured. Money market accounts are interest-bearing deposit accounts that may provide higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts, while also offering additional services such as check writing privileges and debit card privileges.
So it seems like there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to savings products. How should investors decide what works best for them?
There are many more ins and outs than most people think. The most important thing to understand when choosing a savings vehicle is the purpose of the funds that you're using. As we've talked about, there can be penalties for distributing funds too soon from a savings vehicle, so you want to make sure you won't need access to the funds before the term of the product is up. A well thought out financial plan helps to organize and apply a purpose to all of your assets. Armed with this information, a financial planning professional can help you decide which savings vehicle is right for you.
Thanks, Eric, for this overview of savings products and for joining us. And thank you for joining us today for Coffee Chats with Klaas.